All right. You have to match up the equation to the graph without using your calculator. And some of them were hard to put in your calculator if you had to. So first, let's identify which ones are an x squared, which ones are a y squared. So A, is that a y squared or an x squared? A y squared, because it's going this way, right? X squareds are going to go up and down. Y squareds are going to go sideways. Letter C, x squared or y squared? X squared. Okay, and let's identify if P is positive or negative. In the first one, is P positive or negative? Positive. What do you think that vertex looks like? Somewhere it's turning, like right about here. 2, 1, somewhere around there. Somewhere close to like 2, 1, somewhere. Is P positive or negative in this one? Negative, because it's turning down, right? What's that vertex look like? Negative 3, like negative 3, 1? Close enough? Okay. In E, is it a y squared or an x squared? A y squared, it's opening sideways. Is P positive or negative? Negative, because it's opening to the left towards the negatives. It's encompassing the negatives. So P is negative. Think of it that way. Wherever your parabola encompasses, look at your x squared. If they encompass the positives, P is positive. If they encompass the negatives, P is negative. Same with sideways. They encompass the negatives, P is negative. A positive one will encompass the positives. Kind of think about that. This is like wrapping around the positives and negatives. So what's the vertex of this guy? 0, 0. Okay? How about this one? The P is positive, vertex is 0, 0, and it's an x squared. What's this one? X squared or y squared? X squared, P is negative because it's opening down. What's the vertex? Okay. What's this, x squared or y squared? P is what? Negative. It's encompassing the negatives. And what's the vertex? 0, 0. Okay. Identify your diagrams. Now let's go to the parts. Okay? Let's do all the x squares first. This guy's an x squared. This guy's an x squared. This guy's an x squared. What one stands out as the easiest x squareds to do? Let me circle all your x squares. This one, this one, this one. The plus 3, negative 1 over here. Plus 3 minus 1. What's the vertex for this guy? Negative 3, 1. We just found that one. Negative 3, 1. And look, P is negative 2P equals 4P. Divided by 4. P is negative 1/2. Oh, didn't we say P was negative? Yep. And it's an x squared? Okay, there's 1. So this guy is, this is a C. Okay, we can cross this out. We did. Let's identify another x squared. Let's take this one. X squared equals 2y. Well, to solve for y, I'm going to switch these around. We're going to solve for your x squared. Even if you want to look at your regular parabola, like this, and divide it by 2, and look at y equals 1/2 x squared. So let's leave this guy the way we should. Let's say this is your 4p. Divide by 4, and p is equal to a positive 1/2. And what's your vertex for this guy? 0, 0. So let's take a look at that. Do I have one that's opening up of my x squareds? This one and this one are left. Which one's opening up and has a vertex of 0, 0? B. Okay? We got that out of here. So then this guy, it's an x squared. Which way is it opening? Down. So negative 8 is equal to 4p. Therefore, p is equal to negative 2. Oh, negative. It's opening down. Okay, so this one is D. And that's done. Good so far? All right, was that too bad? No. Okay, so now let's identify your y squares. All the remaining, is this too confusing? I can erase this. Okay, I'll erase this down here. I'm just going to cross out the ones we did. Alright, so let's go to one that stands out. The one right here, 47. Because what's the vertex for this? Take the opposite. 3-1. Oh, didn't we have one? We said it was 2-1, but it was 3-1. Were we close enough? Because we just looked at the graph. That's probably my eyeballing here. So, oh, it's got to be A. And isn't P positive? This 4 is equal to 4P. Divided by 4, P is equal to a positive 1. And my vertex says, we said 2-1, 3-1 is close enough. We were just eyeballing our graph. So this guy was A. Okay, that's out. Now, we've got 2 left. And unfortunately, they're both facing in the same direction. It's stretched more than the other. So, let's take a look at this guy. His vertex is 0, 0. Yep, we got 2 0 zeros. Negative 4 is equal to 4P, so P is equal to negative 1. Yep, we said P was negative. Both of those P's are negatives. Both of those vertex are 0, 0. One is just wider than the other. So which one do you think this is? E. It's not as wide. Knowing your transformations is not as wide as the other one. And then, God bless you, this guy had to be F. Was that hard? And if I wasn't really sure, I could graph this very easily. Here's your y squared. I need to solve for y, so I'm just going to take the square root. It's okay to put that negative there because your calculator will only use values of x that fit that domain so that this doesn't become negative. And I could do the same with the other one. It's the same pattern. So now I can graph those. You have to graph it in 2 spots. Graph the positive, graph the negative. Because it's not a function. So it graphs like a circle. You have to put the positive in and you have to put the negative in. So the parabola will actually graph one arm at a time.
There's not a plus or minus, is there?
Not a plus, but there is a minus. So you're going to put in y1, you're just going to say square root of negative 4x. y2, you're going to say use the negative p. And it's going to graph one of the arms, then it's going to graph the other arm. Sometimes it doesn't exactly meet at the vertex for some reason because it's the same point, so it doesn't like do that point. But you'll be able to tell which one is wider. Questions so far? You got it? Good. Alright, so now let's go to the next part. This is the part. How many of you tried this? Tried? Good, good. So the rest said, I don't know what to do with this. Right, because it looks different. But it's your parabola. Talk to me about 61. What kind of parabola is this? It opens up. It's a shrink. So it's going to be flattened out a little bit. We know this one. What's its vertex? 0, 0. So now all we're going to do is turn your formats around. So we're going to keep track of our formats again. So let's call this A, let's call this B. Which format are we using, A or B? A, because it has the x squared. Oh, so I notice x squared is on the left-hand side, so let me just switch these around. Do this with me, guys. Oh, and I notice that there's nothing in front of my x, only in front of the other side. So I need to get rid of that 1/2. How do I get rid of 1/2? Multiply by 2. So now I've got x squared equals 2y. What's your vertex? 0, 0. It's the same as x minus 0, y minus 0. My vertex is 0, 0. So I line this guy up. Line it up. Or you'll miss the 4p. Because that's the really big difference here. So right here, I need to solve for p. So 2 is equal to 4p. Divide by 4. P is 1/2. That's something I need to know. I'm going to keep all my information right here that I need to know. Now I'm going to sketch it. We said it's at 0, 0. It opens up a little wider. That's okay. P is inside my parabola.
Wait.
Good so far? Alright. Stop because I don't want to go too far ahead. P is inside. My directrix is outside. My focus is inside. This is my directrix line. Okay. Don't worry about the formulas. Use your vertex. Your vertex is at 0, 0. F is P units up from your vertex. So if I'm going up, what's changing, the X or the Y? The Y. So this point for my focus is going to be 0 up a half, 1/2. Oh, now I know my focus. 0, 1/2. Don't get hung up on those formulas because those formulas are way too close to say H, comma, K plus P. H plus P, comma, K. You got to still think which is changing, vertical or horizontal.
Is that red line? Is the red line going across?
Oh, that's the axis. That's the x-axis. Sorry. My greens are my focus and my directions. The red is my x-axis. This is my y. I tried to change the color so it would look a little better. Now, bring this point down, and this is at the 0, negative 1/2, right here. But I don't want a point, I want a line. So a horizontal line is an x equal or y equal? Y equals. So what's the value of y? Negative 1/2. So my directrix is y equals negative 1/2. Better? Okay. All right, we're going to do another one. Maybe we'll do 67. And then let you try a couple.
We have to put all that on the side.
These are what you're finding. You're finding the focus directrix. So I would just keep your answers together. P is important. You need to find P to find the rest. So I would go for my vertex and go for my P. That you can determine from your equation, and then you're going to have to find the focus and the directrix. So get a pattern to do this. Get everything to match the formula, then get P, get your vertex, then sketch, then find your focus and directrix. Okay? Can I erase this? Okay. Alright, let's hit this bottom one. Oh, you got a couple here. Alright, let's hit this guy. Is this an x squared or a y squared? X squared. So, let's set it up to match your equation. You notice the x squared part has to be all by itself. So let's move this guy over to the other side. Is that okay? What's your vertex? Negative 1, negative 2. The x comes first, and they come out the opposite way. Good. Now, we line this up. This is the important part. This is square P. It lines up to your equation. We're okay with this. We just have to take negative 8 equals to 4P, divide by 4, and P is negative 2. So we have an x squared. Which way is it going to open? With P is negative, so it's opening down towards the negatives. Okay, so let's find this. Let's sketch. Negative 1, negative 2. And it's opening down. Tomorrow we're going to throw intercepts in here. Not today, not today.
We have to do that Friday. Oh, wait.
Tomorrow is Friday.
Today's Friday.
Today's Thursday. That's okay. It's the story of my life. I never remember what day it is. Alright, what's your vertex? Can you guys see that? Here we are, negative 1, negative 2. This is my vertex. Is everybody okay so far? Opens down. Now, let's find your focus. Your focus has to be inside your parabola. Your directrix outside. So your focus is P units down. So P is -2. So if I'm moving up and down, which one's going to change, the X or the Y? The Y. So what will my focus be if I'm moving 2 units down? -1, -4. Now, I need to move 2 units up to get my directrix line. So let me find a point 2 units up. -1, 0. Now I don't want a point. I want this guy to be a line. My directrix is a line. So what's the equation? Y equals, what's the value of Y? 0. So I know my focus is -1, -4, and my directrix is Y is equal to 0.
You don't have to draw a line for focus.
No, the focus is a point. The directrix is a line. Focus, this is different. I realize this. You probably never had to do this part of your parabola before. But if we don't put it in this format, you can't find P.
Why is it -1, not 1, 2?
This is your vertex. We took it out of here the opposite way. -1, -2. The X always goes with the H, no matter what side it's on. You okay with this? Alright, did we have a Y squared on this one or no?
Yeah, 63.
Alright, let's do the Y squared. Because that opens a little bit different. Now, we look at our format. Is it already set up where Y squared is on the left side and the rest of it's on the right side? So we're good. What's the vertex for this? Everybody see why it's 0, 0? Because it's Y minus 0 squared. There's nothing there. X minus 0 squared. Kind of like your circle when you say X squared plus Y squared equals R squared. You're at the 0, 0. So now, we're lining this up. We know what our vertex is. Let's do our 4P. Divide by 4. And let's just reduce this down. Keep a fraction. So now we know P. So if P is -3/2 and this is a Y squared, which way is it going to open? Left. So here's my parabola. 0, 0. Opens left. And P is -3/2. So I need to come off my 0, 0. I need to move P units away. And I need to find my focus. My board is a little bit off, but it's right on that line. So what, if I'm moving horizontally, which variable changes, the X or the Y? The X. So let's move 3/2 units to the left. Because that's why it says -3/2. So what would this coordinates be? -3/2, 0. Now I know my focus. My directrix is going to move in the other direction. So let's just find the point first. So what's this point?
0.
X, give me the X. 3/2, 0. I got to make a line out of this. This is an X equal line. So what's the X value of this? 3/2. So my directrix is X equals 3/2. I think it's easier if you find your focus, then you go equidistance from your vertex and find that other point. Then draw the line through it. Because if it's an X equal, you pull out your X value. That's the one you have to change. If it's a Y equal, you pull out your Y value. That's the one you have to change. Good? Okay. Don't move. I want you to try. Which one did we not do?
5 or 72.
Oh, good. Try 72. Everybody do 72.